I'm Ezechi Ade. This is the Golden Circle Movement Channel. Today I'm discussing a personal experience that I guess you could say changed my life. And this happened many years ago. It actually happened at a tragic point in my life, at a time when I lost my mother to a car accident. And I had been taken to our neighbor's house to kind of collect myself, to just spend the night and to not be in the home where my mother and I had lived. They just wanted me to have a moment of peace and before the next thing happened, whatever stage needed to happen happened. So Mr. and Mrs. Crummer were friends of my mother and father when we lived in the country. And they were great friends. They went fishing every summer and they hung out and had cookouts all the time. My mother and father with Mr. and Mrs. Crummer, and of course me. And, Mr. and Mrs. Crummer, they were kind of like our extended family. They were kind of like another grandma, grandpa for me. And so Mr. Crummer passed away. And Mrs. Crummer was, of course, very sad. But now we were all sad because my mother had passed away. And now I had no one in the world. My father was separated from the family, so I didn't have any contact with him. And the only thing that I had was my grandmother, and we were waiting to connect me with her. So I spent the night with Mrs. Crummer. I sat in Mr. Crummer's chair and I kind of dozed off a little bit. And she told me, she said, you should go lay down in the room and, sleep. So I went in the room, I laid on the bed, I got under the covers, and I was fast asleep. Now, there had been rumors, people have complained that there was something, someone in that room. And sometimes they would wake them up. And it was a bit disturbing. But I wasn't a believer in spiritual phenomena. So I didn't think anything of it. And I went and I laid down. And I was asleep when I was awakened by the bed being shook. And when I looked, there was what I mean, I couldn't explain it any other way. It looked like Mr. Crummer standing there, shaking the foot of the bed, like, wake up. And I looked at him, and then he vanished. He just faded away. I didn't think anything about it. I went back to sleep. I just considered it like a dream. And it happened again. The bed was shaking. And now he was standing directly beside me, looking down at me, his mouth moving, like he was mouthing words, but I couldn't hear him. I was so tired, I guess I just fell back asleep, and I didn't think about it much until years later when I was faced with a spiritual situation and my belief in ghost was questioned. And now I could understand that ghosts do exist. There are conditions that cause people to be caught in between. And because of this, they need some resolution. Say they are constantly reaching out, trying to resolve that issue that has them stuck. So if you ever encounter a spirit, a ghost, realize they're not trying to scare you, they're just trying to move on. So I have since learned to release the spirit with light and love. Release you with light and love. I release this spirit with light and love. If you now have an understanding of how to communicate with a spirit, type light and love in the comments below. Type light and love in the comments if you want to release the spirit to the spiritual realm. Type light and love in the comments. Thank you for your participation in the Golden Circle Movement channel. Please subscribe. Make sure you ring the all notification bell so you know when new videos are uploaded. Like and share this video. It does help the channel. You can reach me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn at Ezechiade, and on Facebook at the Golden Circle Movement Group. Thank you for your participation. Namaste.